Angelina Jolie saw the black girl being treated unfairly at the airport. Her reaction, and what happened next, would turn the whole system upside down. The staff charged with protecting Georgia declared her guilty, but the consequences would be way too severe for them. Georgia Allen made her way through the crowded Los Angeles airport, clutching her ticket tightly. 17 years old, she was traveling in a gray sweatshirt and comfortable sweatpants. Her father, Aaron, was on an overseas military mission for his country. Her mother had passed away when she was very young, so young that she had no memory of her at all. All she had were pictures of her and her mother together when she was a baby. She often looked at those pictures and felt sad. She never even had the chance to smell her mother's scent or kiss her once. But her father had always been there for Georgia, never leaving her alone except for his professional duties. Since her father was a soldier, he was often stationed overseas. During these times, Georgia stayed with her grandmother and grew up with her. They formed a really strong bond. She loved her grandmother so much and saw her as her own mother. So Georgia was on her way to visit her beloved grandmother in New York. And this was her first solo flight. Her heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nervousness. But what would happen today went way beyond just visiting her grandmother. When she checked her ticket, she couldn't contain her excitement. Business class, seat 3A. Her father Aaron had bought her this ticket as a 17th birthday present. "Let my daughter's first flight be special," he had said. It was clear how much he cared about and valued his daughter. This was a really meaningful gift for Georgia. As she approached the check-in counter, the attendant, Brenda Williams, looked her up and down with a judging gaze. She was a 45-year-old employee, known for always being a stickler for the rules. She looked at Georgia and frowned. This white woman seemed determined to disturb the peaceful atmosphere. "Hold on. Before we continue with our story and its surprising ending, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let us know in the comments what city you're watching from. Your valuable support is important to us." Finally, it was Georgia's turn. "Hi, I'd like to check in," Georgia said politely, holding out her ticket. Brenda took it and looked at the screen. Her eyebrows furrowed when she saw the business class ticket, as if something was wrong. "Is this your ticket?" she asked in a suspicious tone. "Yes, ma'am. My father bought it for me." "ID." Brenda studied it for a long time, as if looking for something unusual, then looked at the screen again. The line behind them began to grow longer, and people started watching curiously, turning their heads left and right. "This is a business class ticket. How could you afford it? Are your parents rich?" This question was completely out of line. What right did she have to ask such a thing? Georgia was surprised. She never expected such a question. "No, we're not rich. My dad bought this for my birthday, and since it was my first flight, he wanted it to be special." "Strange." Brenda sounded even more skeptical. "It's really rare for someone your age to travel business class. Honestly, I doubt this ticket is real. Or did you print it yourself?" Georgia was shocked by this unfair accusation. "What?" Georgia's voice trembled. "No, my dad bought it from the airline." Brenda called her supervisor, Supervisor Davis. He was a serious-faced man in his 50s. She explained the situation in a whisper, but Georgia could hear every word. "This girl is acting suspiciously. She has a business class ticket, and her identity is strange." "In what way could her identity be strange?" Davis looked at Georgia. "Young lady, where did you get this ticket?" "My father bought it, I told you. Aaron Allen, he's in the Army." "Prove it." A cold, one-word order. Georgia pulled out her phone and showed him a photo of her father. A proud soldier in uniform, standing tall. "That's my dad." Davis and Brenda looked at each other. It was like they had made a silent agreement. "This photo could be downloaded from the internet. We need more concrete proof," Davis said. Georgia's eyes widened. "What am I supposed to do? I'm just going to see my grandmother." The desperate pleading in her voice would have moved anyone who heard it. "Let's call security. There's something strange about this girl," Brenda said. Just then, an elegant woman standing next to Georgia witnessed what was happening. She had brown hair, sunglasses, and was dressed simply but elegantly. She was holding a business-class boarding pass. She was going to New York for a conference on Black children's rights. She was listening carefully to everything, seeing how wrong the situation was. That person was Angelina Jolie herself. With grace and dignity, she waited for the right moment, like a lion about to pounce on its prey. Who she was remained unknown for the moment, but they would soon find out. Officer Johnson, the security guard, arrived. He was wearing a uniform that represented authority. He was a serious-looking man in his 40s. "What's the problem? This young girl may have a fake ticket, and her identity is suspicious," Davis said. But they didn't have a single piece of evidence that it was fake. Johnson turned to Georgia with a cold, distant look. "What's your name?" "Georgia Allen. And my ticket isn't fake, it's real." "Calm down. Show me your ticket and ID again." Georgia held out her documents with trembling hands. Johnson examined them carefully. "The ticket is in the system, but it's strange that she got a business-class ticket at her age. That's usually how rich kids travel. But you're telling the officials here that you're a soldier's daughter." "My father bought it for me." "How many times do I have to tell you? Call your father and ask him to come. He's on duty, he can't be reached. I have a plane to catch. I'll be late." It was clear from her voice that she was panicking. Johnson turned to Brenda. "Let's take her to the security room. Let's investigate further." Georgia panicked. It was like all the walls of the airport were closing in on her. "No! You're treating me like a criminal! I'm just going to see my grandmother." Angelina Jolie, who had been waiting with them, moved a little closer. The desperation in Georgia's voice, the tears, something was seriously wrong here. Johnson grabbed Georgia's arm. "Come with me, we just have a few questions." "Let go of me, I didn't commit a crime." At that moment, Angelina Jolie's maternal instinct kicked in. She had adopted black daughters herself. For a moment, she imagined the same situation happening to her own daughters. It was like the spirit of Georgia's mother was hidden in Angelina Jolie's body. Then she stepped forward and took off her sunglasses. "Wait a minute, I'm Angelina Jolie. What in God's name is going on here?" At that moment, time in the airport seemed to stop. Everyone was stunned. The world-famous actress was standing right in front of them. Georgia didn't recognize her at first. Then her eyes widened. "Are you Angelina Jolie?" she asked in surprise. "Yes, I am. And I'm watching what's happening to you." Georgia still couldn't quite believe it, but the seriousness of the situation was hitting her. "Miss Jolie," Davis stammered in surprise. What are you doing here?" he asked, as if famous actresses weren't allowed to travel by plane. Angelina Jolie replied sharply, "What I'm doing here or where I'm going is none of your business. But more importantly, I'm watching how this young girl is being treated, and it's completely wrong. On what basis are you behaving this way?" Every word was like an arrow from a tight bow. Then Angelina Jolie turned to Georgia. "Your name is Georgia, right, sweetheart?" Georgia was still in shock. She could only nod her head. She was surprised that her voice wouldn't come out. It was a surreal moment for her, because Angelina Jolie was talking to her. "Why are these officials treating you like this? Is there some special reason for this?" Her eyes were fixed on the officials. Georgia answered in a trembling voice, "I don't know, Ms. Jolie. They're suspicious because I have a business-class ticket." Angelina Jolie gave Johnson a stern look. "What is this girl's crime? Her ticket is valid. Her ID is real. Why are you forcibly taking her to the security room?" Johnson hesitated. We're just following procedure." "What procedure?" "Your procedures are to treat an innocent girl unfairly like this." Every word hit right on target. But little did Georgia know that this encounter would change not only her life, but the entire security protocols of LAX Airport forever. Security Officer Johnson pulled himself together. He was trying to regain his shattered authority. Ms. Jolie, we appreciate your intervention, but you're preventing us from doing our job. We're taking this action because this girl's documents and behavior seem suspicious to us. Airport security is our top priority. Which of her documents is suspicious? Angelina Jolie asked in a determined voice. You checked her ticket. It's in the system. You checked her passport. It's real. So where's the problem? Supervisor Davis stepped in. Ms. Jolie, we ask for your understanding. A business class ticket at this age is unusual. It's normal for us to do extra checks and try to control the situation. Normal? Angelina Jolie's voice hardened. I'm also in business class. Were you going to ask for my ID? Were you going to check if my ticket was real? Davis seemed to falter. You're different. How am I different? We're both business class passengers. I wonder what the only difference is. Or are you applying double standards to people in the name of security? Georgia's heart was pounding with excitement as she listened to this conversation. Angelina Jolie was defending her. But at the same time, she understood how unfair the situation was. Why were they really treating her this way? She could feel other passengers staring at her. Some curious, some judgmental. An elderly couple passing by whispered, "Is that girl really traveling business class?" Her father said he was a soldier, maybe someone with high rank in the army, the woman said. Still strange, the man muttered. Georgia felt even more trapped inside when she heard this conversation. Why did everyone look at her strangely, as if she didn't deserve to be there? Brenda jumped in. Ms. Jolie, this girl is being inconsistent. She can't answer our questions properly. Inconsistent? Now we'll see who's being inconsistent. Angelina Jolie turned to Georgia. Georgia, can you tell me your father's name? Aaron Allen, Georgia said in a trembling voice. His job. He's a soldier, currently serving in Afghanistan. Where are you going? To New York, to visit my grandmother. Your grandmother's name? Rose Allen. She lives in Queens. Angelina Jolie looked at the officials with a defiant expression. Do these answers seem inconsistent to you? She seems to be giving very clear answers to me. Meanwhile, other passengers at the airport were watching the situation carefully and curiously. Those who recognized Angelina Jolie took out their phones and started recording videos. These recordings would soon get them into big trouble. Angelina Jolie is at the airport. Voices were heard shouting. What's happening? Passengers began to approach. The crowd was getting bigger and bigger. Videos were being uploaded to Instagram stories, TikTok, and shared on Twitter. What was happening now was heading towards something irreversible. Davis spoke in a whisper to Johnson. This is getting out of control. If this hits the media, we're in trouble. Johnson nodded, but he didn't want to give in too quickly. This security guard, who thought he was something special, didn't even realize he was leading the situation toward disaster. Ms. Jolie, we have security protocols. We need to check this girl thoroughly in the interrogation room. On what grounds? Angelina Jolie stepped forward. Is this girl's only crime that she looks young and different? That sentence was a bombshell. She left the sentence hanging, but everyone understood exactly what she meant. Georgia's eyes filled with tears. I'm just going to see my grandmother. Why are you treating me like this? I didn't do anything wrong. Angelina Jolie touched Georgia's shoulder. Calm down, sweetheart. I'm right here. Then Hayes, the airport manager, arrived on the scene to step in. What's going on here? Hayes asked. At this voice, all eyes turned toward Hayes. Davis explained the situation. We suspected this young girl's ticket. We were taking her to the security room for a detailed check. Hayes carefully examined the ticket and passport. The documents are in the system. What's the problem? Expensive ticket for her age, Johnson said. Hayes frowned. Is that illegal? No, but... Then what's the problem? Angelina turned to Hayes. I'm Angelina Jolie. I think this young girl is being treated unfairly. Hayes panicked when he spotted Angelina Jolie. In a second, he realized that his career was in serious danger. Because having Angelina Jolie involved in such an incident at the airport could cause major problems. A big problem for LAX's reputation. Ms. Jolie, we apologize. I think there's been a misunderstanding. The authority in his voice had suddenly disappeared. Angelina Jolie answered clearly. There's no misunderstanding. This girl's papers are valid. She has a business class ticket. Why is she being questioned for nothing? Hayes looked at the officials. They couldn't answer either. Georgia could no longer hold back her tears. I just want to get on my plane. My grandmother is waiting for me. If I miss the plane, I can't buy the next ticket. And neither can my father. These words touched Angelina Jolie even more. It was clear that the girl just wanted to spend time with her family. Angelina turned to Hayes. She was now speaking to him like she was giving orders. Give this girl a boarding pass right now. Don't let her miss the plane. Hayes hesitated. But the procedure... I said give him the boarding pass. Passengers around began to murmur. Social media posts were growing. Okay, he finally said. Prepare Georgia Allen's boarding pass immediately. Brenda protested. But sir, didn't you hear what I said? I said get it ready. Hayes snapped. Georgia relaxed, but she was still shaking. Angelina Jolie tried to calm her down. It's going to be okay, sweetheart. You're going to get on your plane and you're going to see your grandmother. Thank you, Georgia sobbed. If it wasn't for you, Angelina Jolie smiled. I just did what I had to do. Hayes turned to his officers. Report this incident, and let's never have a situation like this again. But there was one thing he didn't know yet. He didn't expect it to go viral on social media and have such a huge impact. They weren't going to get away with this. These recordings that people were taking would soon be the talk of America. The next morning, Georgia was having breakfast at her grandmother Rose Allen's house in New York when she noticed that the teacup she was holding was shaking. Her grandmother turned on the television. Watching the morning news was her favorite daily routine. When she saw herself on CNN, she almost choked. In an incident at LAX Airport, world-famous actress Angelina Jolie prevented an injustice against a young passenger. The newscaster said. Grandma, that's me, shouted Georgia. She couldn't believe her eyes. Rose Allen put on her glasses and looked at the television. The old woman's face was a mix of surprise and pride. Oh my God. Georgia, is that really you? Yesterday's events played over and over on the screen. The moments of Georgia crying, Angelina Jolie's intervention, the official's defense. Everything was recorded. The video instantly went viral on social media and was watched by millions of people. The injustice done to this young girl was going to be costly. In Los Angeles, LAX Airport management was in an emergency meeting. Robert Hayes, the airport director, was speaking to senior management via video conference, sweat beading on his forehead. How did this happen, Hayes? Asked CEO Patricia Williams. It's all over social media. #JusticeForGeorgia is trending. Hayes apologized and explained. Our officials were being extra thorough. There was nothing wrong with the documents. It's not about the paperwork, it's about the approach. This girl was almost detained because she had a business class ticket, Williams said in a harsh tone. Meanwhile, LAX's social media accounts were flooded with comments. Thousands of people were condemning the incident and sending messages of support to Georgia. Even some celebrities started reacting to the situation. Officer Johnson and Supervisor Davis were also placed on administrative leave. Both had called their union representatives and were following the developments with concern. The Human Resources Department began interviewing them. This behavior doesn't align with LAX's values. said HR manager Sarah Chen. Customer profiling isn't allowed. Age, appearance, or other characteristics can't be used as security justification. Brenda Williams was in an even tougher position. She had been the harshest from the start. She was trying to mount a defense with her union representative. Her lawyer kept calling her to explain how serious the situation was. But Brenda's struggles weren't going to stop what was about to happen to her. "I just followed the security protocols," she said. At her age, a business class ticket looked suspicious. "What protocol?" the HR manager asked. "Is there a written procedure about this?" Brenda couldn't answer. Meanwhile, Georgia's father, Aaron Allen, had learned about the situation from Afghanistan. When his commander saw the news on TV, he immediately called Aaron. His commander gave him special permission to call his daughter. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Aaron asked in a worried voice. "I'm fine, Dad, but I was so scared." "You didn't do anything wrong, Georgia. You deserve that ticket. It's your birthday present, and since it was your first time on an airplane, I wanted it to be special." Georgia answered with tears in her eyes. "I know, Dad, but they treated me like I was guilty." After this conversation, Aaron Allen also decided to make a statement. He couldn't stay silent about this situation. He got permission from his military unit and spoke to the press. "My daughter is an innocent child. What other proof did they need? She was just going to visit her grandmother. This injustice is unacceptable. While I'm fighting for my country with my life, my daughter is being discriminated against at the airport." This statement was completely justified. This statement was then widely reported in the media. Former soldiers and civil rights organizations started supporting Georgia. Angelina Jolie shared a video on her Instagram account after the conference in New York. "I'm so saddened by what I witnessed yesterday at LAX. Georgia is an innocent young girl who just wanted to spend time with her family. No one should be judged based on their age, appearance, or other characteristics. We all deserve justice." The video was viewed millions of times within hours. LAX management was trying to control the damage, but it was too late. CEO Brenda Williams issued an official statement. "We apologize to Georgia Allen and her family. This incident is unacceptable. We will terminate the employment of all responsible employees. This will not happen again." But some of the damage was irreparable, because the lost reputation would never be fully restored. LAX's customer satisfaction scores plummeted. The hashtag #boycott LAX started trending on social media. Airline bookings dropped by half. Stocks hit historic lows. Meanwhile, Georgia was having a quiet breakfast with her grandmother Rose in Queens. Rose put her hand on her granddaughter's hand. "I'm proud of you, sweetheart. You faced a difficult situation, but you stayed calm." "I was scared, Grandma. What would have happened without Angelina Jolie? It was really important that she supported you. But no matter what, you were right. The truth would have come out sooner or later." Then Rose added with a smile, "And I'm sure your mom is proud of you, honey, watching you from the clouds." After these words, both of them had tears in their eyes, and they hugged each other tightly and began to cry silently. At LAX, changes had begun. These were steps toward justice that was long overdue. New customer rights trainings were launched. Officers were given special training on no profiling. Officer Johnson, Supervisor Davis, and Brenda Williams were all fired. They deserved it. Georgia's story became more than just an airport incident. It became a symbol of justice and equality. Thousands of young girls sent her messages, sharing similar experiences. Angelina Jolie kept in touch with Georgia. She sent her a special message. "You are a strong young woman, Georgia. Keep standing up for your rights. Always and everywhere." A week later, LAX Airport announced the opening of a Customer Rights Education Center. This center would train all staff on protecting customer rights. Georgia passed through the same airport on her way back to Los Angeles from New York. This time she was treated like royalty. All the staff knew her and treated her with respect. But the best moment came when she was boarding the plane. The flight attendant waiting at the gate looked familiar to her. She used to work at this airport. She said to her, "I remember you. I was sad to see what happened that day. And now all the staff are more careful." Georgia smiled. Sometimes the most difficult moments were the beginning of the most beautiful changes. Showing courage could change injustice. As she leaned back in her seat, she knew that she was now a voice not just for herself, but for all children in similar situations. Don't forget, if you face injustice somewhere, never compromise your stance and never compromise yourself, because the winner of that battle will be no one else but you.